the chaotic scene at Seongsu Bridge, South Korea on October 21, 1994. 32 people died, 17 were injured, 2 cars sank in the river. A bus was suspended in midair before falling tragically. 12 hours later, President Kim Yong-sam forced Seoul Mayor Lee Won-yul to resign immediately. So what actually happened? What was so serious that the president had to react so strongly? Welcome to Konha TV today. We will explore the 1994 Seongsu Bridge collapse incident together. 32 deaths shocked South Korea. Before watching the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to support our team in producing more quality content. Now, let's get into the main content. At 7 a.m. on October 21, 1994, a blue bus was slowly heading toward Gangnam District, Seoul. On board were 11 people, all members of the 3rd Mobile Company, Seoul Police Agency. That day was Korean Police Day. They were on their way to Gangnam Police Station to receive awards for outstanding individuals. To love is to live. He felt like he was entering a new chapter of his life. At 7:35 a.m., the bus reached Seongsu Bridge. The drizzle made the bridge look gloomy. Lee saw a crowded bus nearby, followed by several cars. Just a little further, his vehicle would have crossed the bridge safely. But at that moment, Lee suddenly noticed small gravel hitting the bus window. In an instant, the moving bus suddenly tilted backward. Brakes screeched. Lee heard people screaming, followed by a thunderous explosion. After that, he knew nothing more. A few minutes later, Lee gradually regained consciousness. He looked around and saw people looking upward. High above, thousands of meters away, a section of the bridge had broken. Up there, many people were looking out toward him. The abnormal feeling made his heart feel like it would jump out of his chest. So what had happened? At 7:39 a.m., Seoul police received shocking news. Seongsu Bridge spanning the Han River had suddenly collapsed. Initially, the duty officer thought he misheard, but soon after, police, fire, and medical units were dispatched. All rushed towards Seongsu Bridge. So the bridge had truly collapsed. The Han River flows from east to west, dividing Seoul into north and south parts. To connect both banks, many bridges were built across the river. Seongsu was one of them. One end connects to Apgujeong, the other end connects to Seongsu. These are both important areas of Seoul. Traffic conditions to the scene were quite congested at that time. Nevertheless, in the distance, the officers in a vehicle could see a large section in the middle of Seongsu Bridge had disappeared. By 7:50 a.m., the first few police cars had arrived. Upon arrival, they were almost speechless at the sight. A section of the bridge deck over 30 meters long had broken off. Looking out, on the river surface was a broken bridge section with many trapped vehicles. An entire bridge span had fallen straight down. It took several minutes for the rescue team to collect themselves, and quickly used radios to dispatch boats for support. Before the police arrived, Lee had gradually calmed down after the chaos. The bus carrying it was located in the middle of the broken bridge. Perhaps because it fell with the bridge span, the bus wasn't severely damaged. Almost no one on the bus was seriously injured. As soon as he stepped out of the bus, Lee heard cries for help echoing everywhere. I can still see people struggling in the river. Some police officers took off their jackets, tied them to the ropes, and jumped into the river to rescue them. At this moment, Lee heard cries for help still echoing nearby. On the collapsed bridge section, besides the bus, there were many other vehicles. A black sedan was overturned sideways, a bit further away, a truck was stopped at the edge of the bridge. Although both vehicles were damaged, the people inside had managed to escape. They appeared to have only minor injuries. His gaze stopped at the passenger bus in the middle of the bridge, sending shivers down Lee's spine. Unlike the other vehicles, this bus was overturned and crushed, now only waist-high to Lee. Inside, people were lying piled on top of each other. The situation was extremely critical. Lee quickly called people over to help pull each person out of the bus. Some had broken arms or legs, others were soaked and shivering from the cold. They hurriedly put their jackets on the victims, but no one knew how many more were trapped inside. Around 8:10 a.m., the first rescue boats and helicopters arrived at the scene. By then, 30 minutes had passed since the Seongsu Bridge collapsed. The rescue team discovered a total of 4 vehicles on the collapsed bridge section, and when they saw bus number 16 in the middle, they couldn't help but feel chilled by the sight. The bus was severely damaged, almost completely crushed. Thanks to initial rescue efforts, more than 10 people had been pulled from the bus. They found 2 passengers with minor injuries near the rear door of the bus. Perhaps the rear door bar had absorbed most of the impact force, creating a small space for the 2 survivors, while other passengers were piled on top of each other, covered in blood. The rescue team confirmed that those still trapped in the bus had all died. The bus passengers were mainly Mohawk School female students and commuters. Because many bodies were trapped, it took nearly a day to remove all the victims. Family members fainted on the spot upon seeing their relatives. Some couldn't stand steadily, only able to wail miserably. The scene was no different from hell on earth. Since it was unclear how many vehicles and people had fallen into the water, besides rescuing survivors on the bridge, the rescue team also began searching in the river. On the morning of October 21st, they retrieved a sedan from the water. Inside were the driver and 1 passenger. Both had died because they couldn't escape the vehicle. A while later, they retrieved another sedan. The driver inside had also passed away. The search lasted 3 days and 3 nights but found no additional victims. Unfortunately, although some people who fell into the water were rescued, those pulled from the bus, except for the 2 with minor injuries at the rear door, all died due to massive blood loss and severe injuries. According to statistics, the Seongsu Bridge collapse caused 32 deaths and dozens of injuries. Among the 31 passengers on the ill-fated bus, 29 died. This was the most severe road bridge disaster in post-war South Korea. Seongsu Bridge was built in 1977 and was only 15 years old when the incident occurred. How could a 15-year-old bridge collapse so easily, and even collapse vertically in one section? Initially, the investigation team suspected the cause might be terrorism, but the results announced shortly after shocked all of South Korea. Seongsu Bridge was 19.4 meters wide, 1,160 meters long, built at a cost of 115.8 billion won by the major corporation at the time, LA Construction. This was the 11th bridge built over the Han River. In the 1970s, the requirements for new bridges in Seoul were primarily to be grand, followed by reducing the load on surrounding bridges. Seongsu Bridge utilized the latest construction technology at that time, which was the box girdle, characterized by triangular steel structures installed on bridge piers to distribute force. Typically, traditional bridges require many piers to bear the load, but thanks to the box girdle, the number of bridge piers can be significantly reduced. At that time, the distance between piers of Yongmo Bridge on the Han River was 35 meters, while Seongsu Bridge could reach up to 120 meters, making it look very majestic. Before the accident occurred, LA Construction claimed that Seongsu Bridge was a combination of technology and aesthetics, representing pioneering significance. However, after inspecting the bridge, the investigation team discovered many problems. Box girder technology indeed had many advantages, but precisely because of its sophistication it required better materials and meticulous welding techniques. Seongsu Bridge's girder was 18 millimeters long, and the design drawings required the contractor to use X-metal welding methods so that the weld would penetrate the entire girder. But during construction, the weld was only a mere 2 millimeters, with the middle of the material completely hollow. This significantly reduced the structural strength. Not only was the welding not meticulous, they also discovered issues with the bolts. The contractor's bolt tightening was very unprofessional, with some bolts and bolt holes not even matching in size. When the holes didn't fit, they would find larger holes and insert bolts carelessly. And some bolts were even missing. In the design, Seongsu Bridge's estimated daily traffic volume was 50,000 vehicles, but by 1994, when the accident occurred, the traffic volume had exceeded 100,000 vehicles. The government even expanded lanes to address congestion issues. The investigation team conducted multiple simulations with the same load and welding. The results showed that this bridge should have collapsed 8 years earlier. Thus, although this incident was extremely heartbreaking, to be honest, The fact that Seongsu Bridge lasted for 15 years was already a miracle. What horrified the investigation team most was that it discovered clear signs indicating the bridge was about to collapse, and these signs had appeared many times. A few weeks before the accident occurred, maintenance staff frequently noticed unexplained shaking of the bridgehead. A few days before the accident, they saw large cracks on the bridge. One day before the collapse, someone discovered that the joint of the bridge deck at the accident location was much wider than other places. Each incident was reported, but the staff only placed a sealed plate on the bridge to cover the cracks without making any repairs. At 6 a.m. on October 21st, 80 minutes before the accident occurred, a truck driver passing over the bridge heard strange noises and felt the entire bridge shaking. He was too frightened and quickly reported to the police, but the authorities said they would check after the rain stopped. And at 7:38 a.m., the fateful moment, which was also rush hour. A bus full of people, a passenger car also packed with passengers, and 4 private cars simultaneously passed the section between Pier number 10 and Pier number 11 of Seoul. At this moment, the already overloaded bus girder reached its ultimate load-bearing limit. A well at Pier number 10 broke, creating a domino effect that caused the bridgehead to collapse, like stacked bricks, falling straight into the Han River from a height of 20 meters. 2 private cars plunged straight into the water immediately when the remaining 2 private cars and the bus fell with the bridge deck, so they weren't severely damaged. The last bus, number 16, when the bridge collapsed, the front part of the bus had already passed, but the rear part was left angling. Because the bus engine was located at the back, gravity caused the bus to rotate 360 degrees, finally falling into the broken bridge section into the river, with the roof hitting the water. The bus roof had no protective equipment, so upon impact, the force caused it to be crushed flat immediately. Passengers inside the bus, before they could understand what was happening, was severe. The interior space was compressed, causing people to be pressed on top of each other. And that was the entire heartbreaking development of this accident. 12 hours after the tragedy occurred, Seoul Mayor Lee Won-jong was forced to resign. Dongna Construction Chairman Choi Won-suk also came to the scene. Witnessing this horrific scene, he remained silent for a long time and painfully declared the company would definitely take responsibility. But not long after, things turned in an unbelievable way. Just a few days after that statement, Dongna Construction's chairman completely changed his attitude. He explained to the press that after research, he discovered legally the company was not responsible, because according to the law at that time, the contractor's legal liability period was 5 years. But Seongsu Bridge had been built 15 years ago, so incidents occurring after 5 years were not the responsibility of the construction unit but belonged to the project management unit, which was the Seoul city government. Thus, the responsibility ball was kicked to the Seoul government. Facing public pressure, the Seoul city government also spoke up to explain. They stated that the project had been handed over to the government and the city had maintenance and inspection obligations. But the regulation at that time was that only old structures over 20 years old were subject to inspection, while Seongsu Bridge was only 15 years old, not yet 20 years. So from the beginning it was excluded from the continuous monitoring scope. In December 1994, the Seoul District Court prosecuted Dongna Construction and 17 related officials of the Seoul city government. According to the law at that time, those responsible for construction accidents were typically only punished by license revocation. Therefore, the trial court declared all 17 defendants guilty and gave them suspended sentences. All were released immediately in court. Seeing this unreasonable result, citizens took to the streets to protest. Finally, the prosecution had to overturn the verdict, convicting 3 people from Dongna Construction, and the government with involuntary manslaughter, sentenced to prison from 1.5 to 2 years. The Seongsu Bridge collapse ended that way. Many believe that to speed up construction progress and reduce costs, many construction projects in Korea at that time often selected companies offering the lowest prices and promising the fastest completion. For example, Dongna Construction won the Seongsu Bridge project for the price only half of the estimated amount. In that context, poor quality constructions were very likely to appear. 9 months after the Seongsu Bridge collapse, the Samsung department store collapse disaster occurred. These 2 consecutive accidents had a profound impact on Korean society. From then on, the Korean government began considering tightening safety regulations and started comprehensively reforming the construction regulation system. In 1994, the Seoul city government conducted safety evaluations of all bridges. In 1995, they began mass inspections of construction projects violating regulations. Many buildings were demolished for reconstruction, and construction laws later became more complete. In 2007, due to influences from the Seongsu Bridge collapse, Naomi Construction declared bankruptcy. In 1997, Seongsu Bridge was rebuilt on the old foundation. At the inauguration ceremony, Hyundai Construction invited some victims' families to attend and offered flowers in memory of the deceased. In the wave of economic development, people often easily overlook the importance of safety. And the Seongsu Bridge tragedy serves as a wake-up call for the entire country. Since then, South Korea has pioneered construction safety management from design, construction to maintenance. In the construction field, innovation and technology adoption have also become more cautious. Although new technology can bring many conveniences, if safety and reliability are not ensured. No matter how advanced it is, it could become fuel for disaster. The suspended box girder technology of Seongsu Bridge, while representing advanced design ideas at the time, due to numerous flaws during construction, ultimately led to a disaster. This has made South Korea, when adopting new technology, place greater emphasis on evaluating and testing its safety features. This accident also made people realize that construction safety is not just a technical issue, but also a social one. It involves the government's oversight responsibilities, corporate social responsibility, and the public safety awareness. What do you think about the tragedy of Seongsu Bridge? Please share your thoughts with us. And before we say goodbye, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to Konha TV, so you won't miss out on upcoming exciting videos. Now, Konha bids farewell and looks forward to seeing you in future content.
If the veil stirred, subscribe and meet the next encounter.